By the time he was 30, Alexander the Great had conquered more territory than any human being in history. Greece, Egypt, Persia, Afghanistan, India. He had done what no one before him had done, and would not be done again for centuries. He was 32 years old when he died, in Babylon, in a palace. The cause still disputed: fever, poisoning, exhaustion. The empire he built fractured within a generation. 2 centuries later, Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth, sat in his tent writing privately to himself. He wrote about Alexander, not with admiration, but with a lesson. Alexander the Great and his mule driver both died, and the same thing happened to both. Marcus wrote. The Stoics had been watching Alexander's story. What they saw was not what you expect. Alexander was tutored by Aristotle. He received the finest education available to any human being in 350 BCE. Philosophy, politics, science, medicine, rhetoric. He absorbed it all. He also read the Iliad obsessively. He slept with a copy under his pillow alongside his sword. He identified completely with Achilles, the warrior who chose glory and early death over a long, quiet life. At 20, he became king of Macedon. At 22, he crossed into Asia. At 25, he had defeated Darius at Issus, the Persian emperor. At 26, he was pharaoh of Egypt. At 30, he reached the edges of India. He was weeping by then, not from grief, because there were no more worlds to conquer. The historian Plutarch records this. The Stoics would point at this moment. This is the moment they saw coming from the beginning. The man who needed to conquer everything to prove something about himself finally ran out of things to conquer and discovered that the proof was not there. The proof was never going to be there because he was looking for it in the wrong place. Marcus Aurelius was not dismissing Alexander's achievement. He was making a philosophical distinction that matters enormously. The distinction between external success and internal virtue. Alexander conquered the largest empire in history. This is real. This is extraordinary. This is not the point. The Stoics asked one question. What did he become inside in the process of becoming what he became outside? And the historical record is honest about the answer. The older Alexander got, the more unstable he became. He executed his oldest friend Cletus in a drunken rage. He adopted Persian customs in ways that alienated his Macedonian soldiers. He demanded to be worshipped as a god, not as political strategy, as genuine belief. He became increasingly dependent on conquest to maintain a sense of self that was never secure enough on its own. This is not criticism, this is diagnosis. The diagnosis is this: a person who builds their sense of self entirely on external achievement is building on ground that shifts. Empires fall, victories are forgotten. The person you become in the making of the thing is the only thing that actually stays. Marcus Aurelius had more power than Alexander. He chose philosophy over conquest, not because he could not conquer. He spent decades on military campaigns, because he understood what the conquest could and could not do. The Stoics were not against achievement. Marcus Aurelius built some of the most important infrastructure in Roman history. Epictetus started from slavery. Seneca was one of the wealthiest men in Rome. The The Stoics were against one specific thing: building your identity on your achievements rather than on the quality of the person you are becoming in the process of achieving. Alexander the Great built his identity on conquest. When the conquests stopped, when India refused, the identity had nowhere to go. Here is the question Alexander's life forces. What are you building your sense of self on? The job title that can be taken, the relationship that might end, the achievement that someone else might surpass, the reputation that requires constant maintenance, or something else, something that does not depend on the world's cooperation to exist. The Stoics called this virtue in the original sense, not moral performance, the actual quality of who you are when no one is watching, the character that exists independently of what it produces. Alexander the Great and his mule driver both died. The same thing happened to both. What happens to you is not the point. Who you are when it happens is the whole point.
Alexander the Great was extraordinary, genuinely, historically, unambiguously extraordinary. Marcus Aurelius did not write about him to diminish him. He wrote about him to point at the one thing that even the most extraordinary external achievement cannot provide: the settled sense of self that does not require the world's cooperation to exist. Alexander spent his whole life looking for that in the next conquest. There was no next conquest large enough. There never is. The practice that provides it is not conquest. It is the daily, private, unsexy work of becoming more clearly yourself, which is, in the end, the only thing that neither mule drivers nor emperors can take from you. Subscribe. Next video, Karna, the warrior who gave away his only protection knowing it would kill him. The most stoic story in the Mahabharata.